So, welcome to the What's Your Story podcast presented by Kingdom Story House. I'm Missy Day.
Michelle Hausbeck.
And Jason Gardner.
And so, if you listen to our last podcast that we had, it was pretty funny because we laughed a lot and talked about fun things. And so, today, we have lots of options, but who knows what we're going to end up talking about.
You just roll with it.
Yes.
So our first thing is, it sounded good at the time. So what are some things that you thought were a really great idea to do at the time, but looking back on it, it was probably one of the stupidest decisions you ever made?
Well, as I was thinking about this, all of my teenage and 20s came into mind, and there were numerous it sounded good at the time. But the one that I still shake my head at it, and I would kill my daughter if I had a daughter and she did this, was the age of, I think we were 18 or 19 in San Diego, had been at a friend's house drinking, and we decided, hey, let's drive to Tijuana. And we did, and we got lost on the way back, but thank the Lord he protected us. I'm still alive.
Because a lot of people make that run.
Oh yeah. It was safer back then. Like, this was like 98, 99, but still not a good idea.
No.
At all.
We are grateful you are here.
Thank you. I am too.
As the change nerd, I'm always thinking about change things. And so before my mom and dad moved into their last place, the assisted living, they had a TiVo, and they loved the TiVo. My mom loved the TiVo. And then when they moved into assisted living and they got cable, and it was super expensive, and we said, oh, you know what? You don't need all these channels. You don't need all this stuff. If you can get used to the Apple TV and stream, we can save you $113 a month. I bet we spent 15 times that in all the different things we tried to get them to embrace this streaming thing. Because to my brother and I, we thought, oh, this works fine because we're used to it. You can just navigate around, just go to Netflix, find... No. Hours and hours, and I think we might even tried an Amazon Fire Stick. We tried all these different things. In the end, they ended up staying with the TiVo and the cable at $113 more a month because we had lost so much time and money trying to get that fixed. We thought it was a great idea. Who doesn't want to save money? You're retired. You would think every penny was... No, it didn't matter. It was too important to them to have it easy. So it was a great idea at the time, but...
Not so much.
Not so much. And I'm sure anybody that's had elderly parents probably has dozens of stories where we thought it was a great idea at the time and it ended up not happening.
I will say, if you're used to something, even if you're paying a little bit more, it might be worth it just to stick with it sometimes.
Yes, the volume of calls and texts and issues that, hey, can you fix? And of course, I'm 900 miles away and my brother is close, so he ended up doing the lion's share of having to go over and check all of that. But yes, what is a good idea to me was clearly not a good idea to somebody else.
Hey, but you tried.
We tried and failed, and that's okay.
Mine involves Tijuana too, but different. It was shortly after 9/11, and so my mom and Fred and I thought it'd be fun just to go to San Diego, just kind of like, hang out, get away from things. And while we were there, we were like, well, let's just take the trolley and then take the bus into Tijuana. And so we did, and never thinking that, oh, this is right after 9/11, and probably is not going to be a great idea, but we thought it was. So we go in, and they have, of course, their police are there everywhere with their, AR things. So I was like, huh. So we're just going and we're shopping and doing stuff, and my mom's like, I'm not feeling very comfortable. We should get on the bus and go head back to get on the trolley to San Diego. So we're like, okay. And we've done this many times, so we know the drill. So we get on the bus, And they start driving down these streets that we've never been on before. And so we're all looking at each other. I mean, everyone on the bus is looking around at everybody. And then we just started heading like out in the middle of nowhere, like through nothingness. I was like, this is it. We're going to die out here.
Oh my God.
And they're not saying anything. There's like the driver and a guy with a gun in the front of the bus, and no one's talking. And Fred's like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, call somebody. And he's like, say what?
We've been taken hostage.
So we don't have cell service wherever it is that we are.
This is a movie.
So there's a building, and so we're thinking, okay, this is probably, I don't know if this is good or bad. So we get up to this building, so the guy with the gun says, everybody needs to get off the bus. And we're like, why? What's happening? And so they're like, well, because of, 9/11 and everything that's going on, there was some kind of an episode or something, so they couldn't take us the normal way. So we had to go clear out of Tijuana, and I don't know where we were. So we get into this building. So he said, everybody needs to stay here until the next bus arrives, and it's going to take you to the border. And I'm like, sure it is.
Oh my God.
No. The border of what?
And my mom's crying. It was a disaster. Everybody just freaked out. So the next bus came. We all get on the bus. Again, nobody's saying anything. But then we can see that we're finally getting to a border. And it wasn't the same border like a San Ysidro, is.
Yeah.
It's some other border. And so then we get off the bus, and I'm like, how do we get back to San Diego from here?
Oh, because you took the trolley. Yeah.
You're at another entry.
Yeah.
No.
So he goes, you can take a taxi. And I'm like, oh my God.
What on earth?
So I was like, what the heck? We've made it this far, so we get in a taxi. And they take us over, and we cross the border finally. But when we got to the border, we were like asking him, what is going on?
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't know. Once you're over there, we don't know what they're doing.
You're on your own. Yes.
That was the last time we ever went to the Tijuana.
I don't blame you.
I don't think I'm ever going to go to Tijuana now based off of the
you've never
stories.
been?
I've been right out to the border. I've shopped there in San Ysidro and everything. There's a big outlet mall there and everything. But no, I don't know that I ever will either now. I've looked at it from afar.
I have many Mexico stories.
It's pretty fun when it's like normal.
It is fun when it's normal. We went to Mexico 4 years in a row after we all graduated, a group of us. And in Cabo, 2 of the guys got arrested and went to jail, and that was fun. The night before we were supposed to leave. And literally, it's true. Took all of their cash. I went to try to go find them, and they were like, sorry, little lady. They're going to have to stay here unless you have a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, don't. And then in Puerto Vallarta, 2 guys went to jail. And I'm like, this is fun. The rest of it was fun.
We were in a store one of our trips, and they had like Chanel bags, and the stuff, and I'm so dumb. I'm like, oh my God, they have Chanel here. And so I was like, I want this purse. And Fred's like, how much is it? And I was like, it's $140. And my mom's like, you think you're getting real Chanel for $140?
Yes.
Why not?
So I get out my credit card, and I hand it to the guy. Guy leaves the store. And so Fred goes, I knew that was going to happen.
Why didn't you say anything?
And he eventually came back. And the thing is that he had to go to another store because he didn't have the credit card thing. But he was gone a really long time. And so Fred, the whole rest of the day, was like, there's going to be lots of charges. I know that he used your credit card.
He went on his own little shopping spree. Was there?
No.
Okay.
That's
He
great.
was a good, honest man.
And I was so excited when I went to work. I got this Chanel bag for $140. And everybody's like, that's so fake. And I'm like, no, I'm sure it's real.
Was it spelled right? Sometimes they're not spelled right on the bag.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was spelled right.
Okay.
But it didn't have like the tag, thing in there. That
yes.
was,
Still tag.
yeah. Oh,
Eh.
well.
That's okay. Nobody gets too close. They don't know.
No.
Have you ever, when you were in Mexico or even when right outside of it, I don't know if they do that there, the haggling where you can like bargain with them. It was such a foreign thing at first because I'm like, oh, I don't have to pay the sticker price? Like, because I saw other people doing it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to give you 30. Yes? Oh.
Every port on that Panama cruise we went on, every port in Central America was that way. So Costa Rica, you'd get off the ship and there's all the people there with all the places, and
Yep.
it's expected to haggle
Right.
and bargain. They will look at you funny if you just say okay when they give you the first price. They almost pause, waiting for you to counter offer.
Right.
Yeah, like free? Yeah, no.
Free.
Then you find somewhere in the middle, but yeah, it still happens quite a bit.
Did you have the little kids try to sell you chiclets gum?
Oh, chicle. The first time we went, you know how much chicle I bought? I was like, I'll buy the whole box. How much? We had so much gum.
And the donkeys painted as zebras.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, we saw that in Mazatlan, I think. Yeah,
Yeah. That's fun. Different culture.
yeah.
Fantastic food. I will say that.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. However, we were told, don't drink the water. Okay, cool. Got it. Bottled water, this and that. However, we're like, give us margaritas. Give us mixed drinks. Can I have more ice? Oh my gosh, the first trip, like half of us got so sick. We're like, oh.
Don't think about that.
No. I'm like, the alcohol.
It kills everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't kill everything.
So one other thing I thought of, it sounded like a good idea at the time. So my mom, for many, many years, have always baked during Christmas time and do gifts, right? And we're pretty successful at it, right? She ran a popcorn store, like, I love to bake, blah, blah. So we're like, we're going to try cake pops. Has anybody here tried to make cake pops?
No.
No.
It was, such a disaster. Every which way to try to do it, like molding the dough, putting frosting in the dough. I looked up like, I don't even know, 20 different recipes, and they would just fall apart. We ended up literally with a Ziploc bag of cake and frosting mixed together, and like the chocolate or whatever that you're supposed to dip them in, just like random clumps of it. Cake home and ate it with a fork. It was good. But I'm always in awe, like at Starbucks or wherever I see a cake pop. I'm like, I shake my fist a little. I can't get you. I can't master you.
I wouldn't even know how to. I mean, do you take like a scooper, like an ice cream scooper, or?
We bought these special molds because that's what this one recipe said, and it's like half a circle and then another half circle, right? And you bake the cake in those, and then you're supposed to put like frosting in between them, stick a stick in them, and like dip them in the chocolate to let them harden. Well, A, they didn't stick together. B, as soon as you put them in the chocolate, they completely fall apart.
Oh.
And then there's another recipe where you mix frosting into a ball, stick the stick in, and like you're supposed to let it go in the fridge for a minute, and then you do the chocolate. Nothing worked. They kept falling off. They kept falling apart. It was honestly one of the best times I've had baking because it was such like a comedy of errors because nothing would work.
An idea I thought was good at the time. One time when I was baking cake years ago, I thought olive oil would work when I didn't have canola oil. That it seemed like a good idea at the time. No, don't put olive oil in your chocolate cake. Well, I think there are chocolate cake recipes that use olive oil, but there's other things to make the olive oil work, you can't just sub it for
Right.
canola or vegetable oil. You're like, I think the whole thing just went straight in the trash. I don't think anybody, I think people have, we cut it up and they're like, what's wrong with this? And then it all just went in the trash.
There's no salvation there.
Yeah. Oil's oil, right?
Yeah.
No.
It is not.
I'll tell one from my book.
Great. Tell us about the book that's coming out before we
Yes.
get into it.
So then it's done with the final edits and everything. So the next step is to finish the back cover of the book, and then start the process with Amazon for publishing. That's the next steps.
Great.
So that's pretty fun. My best friend, Jana, and we loved going to Hollywood, and our dream was to live in Hollywood someday. And so we were up there, and so we decided, well, we're going to look for an apartment. And we were 17 years old. And, but we were so used to being up there and people thinking we were older, and stuff. So we were just like, of course, we're going to look like we're old enough to rent an apartment. So we found this one that we loved, and it was overlooked Sunset Boulevard, and it had white carpeting, and it was beautiful. And so the lady that was showing it, she goes, do you want to fill out a lease application? So we're like, sure. So I fill it out, and I'm lying through the entire thing on this lease. And so, but I was dumb enough to put on, because it asked for a reference. So I put my dad's name and his phone number on this lease. And I don't know, obviously I wasn't thinking, because I was like, well, they're not going to call him or anything. And so the lady was so nice, and Jan and I were getting so excited. Now, in the back of our heads, we knew that we couldn't really live here, but we were just so excited, because we were like, oh, so we started saying where all the furniture's going to go in the apartment and everything. So we were so excited driving home, and so Dad goes, did you have a good day? Yes. Did you go to school? Yes. And then what'd you do? Oh, then I went over to Janice for a while. And he goes, well, I got a phone call from a leasing agent that you applied for a lease for an apartment in Hollywood. I was like, oh. It's like, so are you moving? Do you need me to help you move? And I was like, are you going to pay our rent? And he's like, no.
I wish I could have seen his face just having that conversation with you.
And I love how they know the answer, but they're asking us questions anyways. And then what else did you do? Nothing. Did you get approved?
No.
No.
Jana's sitting there, she's like, how are we going to afford this? Because it was like $1,700 a month. And I was like, I don't know. I said, we'll just move.
We'll just move.
Okay.
Seems like so easy sometimes. We'll just move.
Why not? We applied. They took the application.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I wonder, what did Jay say, your dad say to the leasing agent? Did he play along, or what did he like?
He told the leasing agent, he goes, my daughter loves Hollywood and she wants to live there someday. He goes, she's 17. And she goes, oh, well, she put a different age on the application. He goes, I'm sure she did. So we never made it. We never lived there. That's probably a good thing.
Probably a good thing, yes.
Seemed like a great idea at the time.
It sure did. It sure did. That's funny.
I feel like there's learning lessons that come from all of these. Not immediately, but somewhere down the road, even just talking about it today, there's probably things we can reflect back on and say, oh yeah, I do something different in my life now as a result of that experience.
Right.
Or I choose differently or behave differently because of what happened when we did that. We've had some that are more lighthearted and light-minded, but there are some that are a little more heavy.
Right.
But I think that's where we grow as people. Not to turn this too serious, but we do grow as people. That when we realize, oh yeah, it was a great idea at the time, but it failed, and now I'm better or different because of it.
Missy and I were just talking about how, well, both her and I, we get an idea and we just run with it, right? Because it seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, it does not turn out the way we expect it to. And we were talking about it in the terms of, we need to stop, pray, see if this is really aligned with God's will, instead of just like our human nature to be like, yep, let's go, without ever like considering anything except that it sounds good, it sounds fun, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, and the two of you are amazingly resilient people. So you have built that through trial and error, through here's what's happened, here's what didn't work. But we also don't know. Sometimes it's the unknown that is also exciting. Like, well, we got to do it. We got to try it at least.
Yeah.
And see what ends up happening. And so, because you can run everything through your filter of love God and love your neighbor, and stuff still doesn't work out. Yeah. Sometimes it's things that you're like, but I did what was asked of me. I'm supposed to be loving God and loving my neighbor. But sometimes the circumstances just don't work, or people sometimes get in the way, and that can foil our best plans. But
yeah, it's been mostly people. I'm not a good people picker. If I meet somebody and I think they're fun and funny and just all the things, and then I just like accept them, like, yes, come on into the group and everything. And then after you've invited them in hastily, then you're sitting here going, well, this was a big mistake. Now, how do you get rid of the person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough though with that, because I think that's one of your greatest qualities is that like you are open to hearing, right, anybody's story, whatever anyone has to say, and you welcome them in, you love them, you see things in people that we all don't see, and they definitely don't see in themselves. I don't know if like double-edged sword is the way to say that then, but maybe it is the stop and pray. But I think that's one of the things I love about you, because you love people.
And that's loving your neighbor. That's doing what we're supposed to do. There was oh my goodness, this is so many years ago, that I heard a sermon one time that said sometimes things happen to us negatively because the other people have to be held accountable. I'm like, oh. It's a little bit of sense. The Lord sometimes has to, like, that they have to be subject to the judgment because we did the right thing by loving God and loving our neighbor, but they don't. The accountability is on them, but sometimes it happens to us. Because I'm with Michelle. You are the model of inclusivity and making sure everybody's welcome and feels a part of what's going on. And I mean, even just Storyfest last weekend, look how much love was in that room for you and for everything that was going on, because you bring people in.
You just brought up something that I guess I forgot about, but I've said it before. And maybe this is our human selfish nature, but like when things happen to us, we assume it's because we need to learn a lesson or we did something wrong. But sometimes I think God uses a situation or us to teach whatever, the other person, whatever he wants them to teach or go through. And we're kind of like caught in the crossfire. But we're part of it for that reason, not any fault of our own per se.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Moment of deep thought.
I know. It's like, see, I look back at some of the disasters and I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's the other person that's learning the lesson too. And we still grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes unwillingly, but we still grow out of it. But it's never fun in the moment when everything is falling apart or people are being mean or disrespectful or unethical or not keeping their word or all the other things that happen that humans tend to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're like, oh yeah, that wasn't a ton of fun, but I did get something out of it. Like, I will never behave like that.
Right.
And maybe that becomes part of the character.
Yeah, we're constant. If we choose to constantly learn and change and be aware, I mean, there's something multiple times a day that we can take away.
Yeah.
That's kind of like for our stories of it sounded good at the time, like for going to Tijuana after 9/11, there was no self-awareness or any awareness at all for us of what just happened, that it would be different going to another country at that time, particular time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I look back, a lot of the stupid things I did, it was because I was not aware. And I'm not sure I even cared if I was aware.
That was my thing. I don't think I cared. Or I had this weird, like, I'm indestructible feeling, and I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's just because I'm stubborn, or like, you tell me I can't do something, and I'm like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to show you. Like, you know, when I was drinking, I'll drink you under the table. Like, I'm going to be the best at whatever it is I do, even this stupid.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, but absolutely no awareness. That's a really good point.
Like when we were at Disneyland and snuck in alcohol and got drunk and went on that ride and everything and acting fools on this ride, it never occurred to me that there could be a consequence. Yeah. Or that, we'd get off the ride and security's there and takes us out of the park. It's like, and we're all standing there going, why? Well, what's wrong?
We don't understand.
You're 13 and you're drunk. That's a problem.
There's many problems with this scenario.
List. Well, that's where grace and mercy work, though, because there's no limit. That's the beauty of it. That's where we can be like, thank goodness
Lord.
there is. Yes. I will extend grace and mercy except in the following cases and with the following limits and with the following people. Yeah, it's so nice to know that, that can all be fixed because, oh man, things that were a great idea or things that you didn't even think through. To your point, we just want to just do it because we think, oh, we got to make this happen. And so we just forge into the breach and then the body count behind us is high. We're like, well, I thought this was a great idea. And everybody else is like, have you seen the damage behind you? Like, oh, I guess this wasn't so good after all. Then back to self-awareness. You're like, well, I thought this was great. I had a lot of fun. What about the rest of you? Yeah. No, they walk away saying, please don't ever speak to me again.
When I got sober, like I mean, I don't know, it took years to kind of find myself again, but a lot of that was like me thinking of the damage I had done to others. And I had zero, like, I don't think I cared either, but I had, and not in a bad way, it just, I was so selfish in what I wanted to do and I was going to do it. Zero awareness for myself of what could happen to me or how it was affecting many others. Oh, I remember there was a bar we used to go to all the time in my early 20s, and there was a bouncer. And we were friendly, whatever, for years. And I had a blackout night. Do not remember what happened. And the next time I came back in the bar, he would not talk to me. I tried probably for a good another year. What did I say? What did I do? And nobody else heard it because they would have told me. Never told me. And I'm like, I think about him so often because, I mean, he wanted nothing to do with me. And I'm like, what did I do? And it just, like, it's...
And you never found out?
No.
Oh, wow.
Never. I'm sure I said something awful to him, which we were friends, like, and I didn't know him super well to know, like, dirty secrets or anything to bring something up. So I have no idea what I did, but I always feel bad for that, because I'm like, no awareness of what I'm doing to others. Yeah.
There's the growth.
There is the growth, yeah.
There's the growth. There's the awareness now that we have where we think about what we do. It's so interesting to, when we think about the ideas that were great that weren't, there's probably way more in my late teens, 20s, and even early 30s than now. And I think that's what I enjoy about my time in life now is all of those experiences mean I don't go down those roads and create extra work. It's so frustrating, though, because you want to share that with people that are that age, and you see them wandering down that path, and you see them making the same mistakes, and you just think, I wouldn't, you shouldn't, and all these other things, and they don't want to hear it. And I'm sure we were the same way.
I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, we were young. We're like, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm invincible, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll show you. I can't this. I'll show you. And yeah. But now it's and I guess that's where the cycle of life comes in, where you're like, oh, I have all these things I'd love to share with people, but they don't want to hear it. I'm like, okay, well, we'll still love you and be here with open arms. We'll prodigal son you when you come back, or prodigal daughter you when you come back, because you will, and we'll be here with open arms. But have fun while you're out there, because I would not want to repeat a lot of what's gone on in the past, for sure.
I never want to go back there, but in some weird way, I probably have a couple regrets, but I say that with an asterisk, meaning everything has taught me something. And even me being horrible to other people, like that's more so like what I would regret if I regret anything. But it also, like Jason saying, has taught me to think before I do or say, or hopefully not all the time, but I've grown from all of it,
Right. That's like, I think, Jan and I have fun when we reminisce all the good old days and all that stuff when, we didn't get into trouble. And I think that's the piece that's the good part, is because we worked our guardian angels to death, for a lot of years, and God kept us safe when he could have very easily let us, drank and drove so many times. And we'd take a bus from Bellflower to downtown Hollywood at midnight. Who does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, we're like, yeah, let's go to Hollywood in the middle of the night and walk around underage.
Yeah. You're just wearing a sign like, come get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes it hard because I'll tell my nephew, you've got to quit drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You're going to kill somebody, you're going to kill yourself. And of course, his comeback is, well, you did it and nothing happened to you. And it's like, yeah, I was lucky that nothing ever happened to me.
Oh, yeah. I still thank God to this day that I didn't kill anybody, hurt anybody, or harm myself. Like,
I thought we were indestructible.
Yep. Invincible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course we can do this. Why not?
Yeah. Nothing's going to happen to me. Yeah.
This is why story is so powerful, because these stories and other stories are what people learn from,
right,
and hear, and sometimes they make choices that improve their lives. Sometimes they don't listen and they just do it anyway. But we forget that our stories can change people. They've changed us for sure, but changing other people. That's why Kingdom Storyhouse and the Academy and all these other things provide people those skills and tools, because just being able to put it together and so that they can share it. Because one of the things I got out of the Academy was that structure. I think I've shared that before, so that you don't wander too much. Because if you wander too much, then people do get to the end of your story and they're like, what exactly was your point with that one again? So you can tell the details and tell the thing and then stick the landing that says, this is why it was so important.
Right.
And changed, because our stories are rich. They're embarrassing. They're wonderful. They're glorious. They're sometimes shameful, but they do make the world a better place.